There are journeys that change our lives forever. This is the story of two siblings, a mysterious letter, and the search for a mother who disappeared 15 years ago without a trace. Emma and Jack were preparing their motorhome for the most important trip of their lives. When we found that letter in the attic of our dad's house, we knew we had to find her. Even if it meant driving to the end of the world, Emma said, organizing the maps. Or to Alaska, which is practically the same thing, Jack replied with a nervous smile. What they didn't know was that this journey would reveal secrets that would change everything they thought they knew about their family. The letter had been sealed for 15 years. What it contained was so important that their father never had the courage to send it. If you've ever felt that irresistible call of the open road, that need to uncover hidden truths, this is a journey you'll want to follow to the very end. Let's embark together. Claire Bennett disappeared one winter morning. No warning, no explanation. Emma was 13, Jack only 10. Now sitting in the parked motorhome, the siblings examined the letter they had found. Dad kept this for 15 years without ever sending it. Why? Emma asked, turning the envelope over in her hands. Maybe he didn't know where she was, Jack suggested. Or maybe he knew exactly where she was, but was afraid of what would happen if the letter reached her. The envelope was addressed to Claire Bennett, Cabin 17, Eagles Rest, Denali, Alaska. The decision of whether or not to open the letter was the first of many difficult choices on this journey. What would you do? Open the letter to discover its contents, or respect the secret and deliver it sealed. He asked us to deliver it personally. We should honor that, Jack decided, and Emma agreed with a silent nod. 300 miles, 6 states, 2 weeks on the road, 1 mission. We grew up hearing stories about how much she loved adventures, how she met our dad during a backpacking trip, how she dreamed of seeing the northern lights, Emma commented, as they drove through the 3rd state. Do you think that's why she chose Alaska? To see the lights? Jack asked, gazing out the window at the ever-changing landscapes. Or maybe to disappear completely? The road has its own way of testing who we are, and of revealing truths we may not be ready to face. As Emma photographed the sunset, Jack prepared dinner outside the motorhome. You know what's weird? He said, stirring a pot on the portable stove. I'm starting to understand why someone would choose to disappear like that. There's a freedom in it. Have you ever taken a trip that changed your perspective on everything? Share your experience in the comments. We'd love to hear how the road has transformed you too. On the 5th day, nature decided to remind them who was really in control. The motorhome stopped on the shoulder of the road. The rain was intense. Lightning illuminated the Montana sky. We can't continue in these conditions, Emma said, gripping the steering wheel tightly. We're in the middle of nowhere. Jack replied, trying to see through the flooded windshield. The tension grew as the storm worsened. Water began to seep through the roof of the motorhome. What if this is a sign? What if we're making a mistake? Jack questioned, placing a pot to collect the dripping water. Or maybe it's just a storm, Jack. They found refuge in a small roadside cafe where they met Martha, an elderly woman serving coffee. You have that look, she said, placing steaming mugs in front of them. You're looking for someone, aren't you? The siblings exchanged surprised glances. How can strangers sometimes read our souls so easily? And what did Martha know that they still needed to discover? Martha shared her own story of loss and reunion, giving the siblings a new perspective. Sometimes we meet people at the exact moment we need the lessons they have to teach us, she said before saying goodbye. Back on The road, the siblings discussed what Martha had said. "Do you think she really found her son after 20 years apart?" Jack asked. "I don't know, but she seemed at peace with it anyway." Jack rummaged in the glove compartment and found an old envelope with photos. "Emma, look at this." They were old photos. Their mother in front of a lake, smiling, a wooden cabin, an unknown man beside her. "Who is this guy? I've never seen him before," Emma asked, frowning. Jack turned the photo over and read the inscription. "Claire and Thomas, Mirror Lake, Alaska, 1995. Thomas? Who the hell is Thomas?" That was 3 years before she met Dad. Sometimes the answers to the future are hidden in the past. What else had their father hidden from them? And who was the mysterious Thomas? Emma called her uncle Robert, her father's brother. "Thomas?" "Yes, I remember him," Robert said over the phone. "He was your mother's first love. They met in Alaska when she was 20. "Why did we never hear about him?" Emma questioned. "Because your mother never fully got over what happened between them. This journey is just beginning to reveal its secrets. If you're as intrigued as we are, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next chapter of this story. And yes, things are about to get even more surprising." The road to Alaska isn't straightforward. It winds through Canada, testing your patience and determination at every turn. "What is the purpose of your visit to Canada?" the border agent asked, examining their passports. "We're on our way to Alaska." "To visit our mother," Emma replied, trying to sound casual. "When was the last time you saw her?" An uncomfortable exchange of glances between the siblings. 15 years ago, Jack finally answered. The agent scrutinized their documents more closely. "Do you have any proof that she's expecting you?" "Actually, it's kind of a surprise," Emma said, smiling nervously. "Sometimes the truth sounds stranger than any lie we could invent." Finally cleared, they continued their journey through Canada. "What if she doesn't want to see us? What if she has another family now?" Jack asked, as they watched the Canadian mountains pass by. "Then at least we'll know. It's better than spending our whole lives wondering." During a stop at a stunning lake, where they camped for a night, Emma reflected, "I think I understand why she loved traveling so much. There's something about being on the move that makes you feel free." Jack found an inscription on a nearby tree. C+T Forever, 1995. "Emma, you need to see this." Coincidence? Or was fate guiding their steps? Whitehorse, the last outpost before Alaska, a town where strangers are noticed and secrets are hard to keep. The siblings stopped at a local diner. While they ate, Emma showed the photo to the waitress. "Do you happen to know this man?" "Thomas? He might live around here." The waitress examined the photo, surprised. "That's Tom Miller. He owns an outdoor gear shop on Main Street. He's been here for over 20 years. The siblings walked nervously to the shop. A bell chimed as they opened the door. A middle-aged man with a graying beard and kind eyes appeared. It was Thomas, older but recognizable from the photo. "Can I help you with something?" he asked. With a polite smile, Emma and Jack exchanged glances, frozen. Did you know Claire Bennett?" Emma finally managed to ask. Thomas's face changed completely. Shock, recognition, emotion. "My God, you're her children. How could a stranger recognize them instantly when they had never met before?" Thomas invited them to his home, where he showed them old photos and told them his story with Claire. "We were going to get married. We had big plans to build a life here at the end of the world." "What happened?" Jack asked. "An accident. I almost died. She couldn't handle it. The idea of losing someone she loved again after losing her parents so young. So she ran away," Emma concluded. She always ran away when things got tough. It was her coping mechanism. Stories like this remind us that we all carry invisible scars. If this journey is touching your heart, leave a like to help us share this story with more people who might need to hear it. Alaska, the last frontier, a place where people come to find themselves or to lose themselves completely. Thomas decided to accompany them on the final leg of their journey. Eagle's Rest is a remote place. You'll need someone who knows the way. The road grew increasingly wild, the motorhome facing challenging conditions. Your mother always loved isolated places. She said it was where she could hear her own thoughts. Thomas commented as they navigated the increasingly rough roads. "How do you think she'll react when she sees us?" Emma asked, anxiety growing as they got closer. "Honestly, I don't know. Claire was always unpredictable." The motorhome stopped at a breathtaking overlook. Everyone got out to admire the view. "It's amazing to think she sees this every day," Jack said, gazing at the majestic mountains. Alaska changes people. It forces you to face who you really are. "There's nowhere to hide here," Thomas replied, his gaze lost on the horizon. "What happens when we finally find what we've been searching for so long? What if the truth is different from what we imagined?" They arrived at a small, remote community. Scattered cabins, mountains in the background, a crystal-clear lake. Eagle's Rest, population 37 or 38, counting your mother. They stopped the motorhome and looked at cabin 17 in the distance. "Are we really ready for this?" Emma asked, clutching the letter tightly. "I don't think we'll ever be completely ready," Jack replied, taking a deep breath. 15 years of unanswered questions. 15 years of missed birthdays, graduations, first loves. 15 years of emptiness. Emma held the letter tightly. Jack took a deep breath before knocking on the door. Silence. Then, footsteps. The door opened slowly. A middle-aged woman appeared. Graying hair, a face etched by time, but unmistakable eyes. Claire. Her face went through a series of emotions. Shock, disbelief, fear, hope. Emma. Jack? A silence charged with emotion. "Hi, Mom," Emma said, her voice barely a whisper. Claire brought her hands to her mouth, tears streaming down her face. How did you find me?" Jack pointed to Emma, who held out the letter. "Dad asked us to deliver this before he died." Claire's face changed completely. "Robert is dead?" How could she not know? And what else did Claire not know about the life she left behind? The reunion was emotional. Hesitant hugs that turned into tighter embraces, tears, questions. Claire invited them inside. The cabin was simple but cozy. Photos of her children as youngsters on a shelf. "You kept track of us?" Jack asked, surprised to see the pictures. "Robert sent me photos. Every year. It was our agreement." "Why didn't you ever come back, or at least call?" Emma asked, the pain of years of abandonment in her voice. Claire took a deep breath. "It's a long story, one you might not be ready to hear." "We have all the time in the world now," Emma replied, looking at the letter still clutched in her mother's hands. "Some moments change our lives forever. If you've ever experienced a reunion that transformed your story, share it in the comments. Your experiences can give strength to others who are on similar journeys. There are truths that can set us free, and there are truths that can shatter us. Sometimes they are the same truth." Claire slowly opened the letter, her hands trembling. Her eyes scanned the words, her face changing with each line. "He forgave me," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "After everything, he forgave me." Emma and Jack exchanged confused glances. "Forgave you for what?" Jack asked. Claire looked at her children, then at the open door. where Thomas waited in the distance. For hiding the truth from all of you, she stood up and called Thomas to come in. He entered hesitantly. Your parents need to know the truth, Claire said, holding Thomas's hand. A heavy silence filled the room. I'm your biological father, Thomas finally said. Shock registered on Emma and Jack's faces. When I found out I was pregnant with you, Emma, I had already met Robert. Thomas was unavailable, Claire explained, tears in her eyes. I was in the hospital, in a coma. The accident, Thomas added. Robert took me in, loved me, raised Emma as his own. And then we had Jack. So we're half-siblings? Emma asked, looking at Jack. Family isn't just blood, it's love, it's choice. Robert chose to be a father to both of you equally. Claire replied, holding her children's hands. She revealed more of the letter. He writes here that his last wish was for you to know the truth and to find a way to forgive me. The family spent hours processing the revelation. Questions, tears, embraces. Sometimes the end of one journey is just the beginning of another, a journey of understanding, forgiveness, and rebuilding. That night, the family gathered around a bonfire. In the background, the northern lights began to dance in the sky. I used to say I came to Alaska to see the lights, but the truth is, I came to find peace, Claire said, looking up at the sky. And did you find it? Emma asked. Claire looked at her children and smiled. I'm finding it now. Every journey begins with a step. Sometimes it's a step away. Sometimes it's a step back. But always, it's a step towards who we are meant to be. If this story has touched your heart, if you believe in the power of second chances and journeys of self-discovery, join our community. Subscribe for more stories that explore the complexities of family ties and the journeys that transform us. And remember, it's never too late to find your way back home.